Hey everybody, Lee Martin here again, back with another experimental marketing concept. I know I've been talking a lot about AI agents, but don't get it twisted. Not everything needs to be an AI agent. In fact, sometimes all we really need is an automation. AI agents are great if you have the need for comprehension, meaning we have a problem that's so complex. We need the AI agent to do a little bit of thinking on our behalf. But most of the time, we just want to take some existing data and process it in a way that's more valuable to us. And that's really where an automation comes in. And I'll give you an example. Nirvana has a ton of really great, interesting data about releases on their MusicBrainz account. I would like to take that data and put it in a format that's more valuable to me. How about a piece of social content? So what can I do with an automation that would make it easier to extract stories of value? I really like this concept of rewinding or time hopping release data or concert data to find anniversaries from the past that are occurring today or in the coming week. So I've gone ahead and I've built an automation that can go to MusicBrainz, get all of the Nirvana releases, and find the next 5 releases and how many years it's been since they've been out, and have that information emailed to me so then I could choose to create social content around it. If I ran this particular automation I built, it would send me an email that looked like this. So I've got the next 5 release dates from today. I think today is the 9th. And 6 years ago, it looks like an album called The Broadcast Archives came out. And if we look at the bottom here, 23 years ago, an album called Greatest Hits came out on October 23rd. So, something to think about. We may want to make a post about this. But let's go back to the automation and I'll run through exactly how it works. Alright, we're back on N8N and here's the automation. Let's go through it step by step. First, we get all of the Nirvana releases from MusicBrainz. To do that, we call this particular URL and pass the MusicBrainz ID. I'm choosing to get just the types of album, EP, and single, and limiting it to 100, though it looks like I can get up to 700 releases, so we may want to account for increasing that limit or doing some sort of pagination to get all of the releases. As I mentioned, the data is quite verbose, so if we think ahead to the email we want to send ourselves, what information do we actually need from each release? I think it's the release date, the title of the release, and the type of release. So we can use this set function to extract just that data and simplify it. Then we want to sort by anniversary. Now this is a little verbose and I'll share this code. All this does is takes all those releases and sorts them by the next occurrence. We don't want to sort by the year it comes out necessarily. We want to sort by month and date. So we're getting what occurs next from today. It's a little bit confusing, but if we think about how anniversaries work, they're really connected to months and days, and then the amount of years is sort of a secondary variable. So that's what this does. It sorts all of our releases based on what's coming next, month and day. Then, as I mentioned, we need a little expression that calculates the anniversary. That's how many years it's been since the release actually occurred. Pretty simple calculation here, though it takes a little bit of confusing code to pull it off. Again, I'll share this little snippet, but we're sort of setting an extra parameter here called anniversary. That's just the amount of years since the particular release occurred. Once we have that, we don't want 100 items. We just want the next 5. So we can use a limiting tool here to limit it to the next 5. And since we already sorted all the releases, the next 5 will actually be the next 5 occurrences. Finally, we use this Gmail tool that's authenticated with my Gmail account to send me an email. I'm sending it to myself. I've set the subject as release anniversary, and I've written another little expression here that loops through each of the 5 releases and prints them out as title, type, release date, and how many years. So you get that in your inbox, which you saw. Now, this particular automation is ran by a click, but I think what makes this really compelling is when you change the trigger to schedule. So I could set up a schedule trigger here in N8N that runs this automation every week on a Monday, and it's going to pull the next week's releases or the next 5 that start from that particular Monday. And I think that's super helpful. This little automation's doing the work for you to go through your release data and pull those stories that are valuable to you and putting them right in your inbox. Now, I was so excited by this particular automation that I decided to productize it. I did another version of this automation using concert dates, and I thought maybe if I pulled together release anniversaries and concert dates into one newsletter product, this would be valuable to more of you. And you wouldn't really have to set up this automation yourself, though I suggest you try, because it's a lot of fun to get familiar with sort of these no-code environments. But if you're interested, you can go to rewind.today, type in your email and your name, and I'll let you know when it's available. I'm envisioning a pretty simple newsletter product where you type in your artist name and your email address and maybe the frequency by which you'd like to receive these rewinds, and we would just put an email in your inbox for that particular artist with just the stories from the upcoming week that are most interesting. Could be fun. I hope this demystifies the difference between an AI agent and an automation and prove that we can still accomplish a lot of things, and probably most things, without the help of AI, simply by taking our existing data and processing it in a way that extracts maximum value. Thanks for watching.